Hello, Natika. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Natika madam, when she talks, can you hear it? Madam, आप बात कीजिए.
Hello, Natika ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Natika ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Natika ma'am, are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I'm sharing the screen. You want me to stop? You will share
Yes.
the screen? Yeah.
Yes, let me share the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Masuma ma'am. Hello. Masuma ma'am, you have raised your hand. Your mic is disabled, right? That is what you are saying. Yeah. Okay. I will check, ma'am. I'll check, ma'am. Fine. Give me some time. I'll check with the IT person.
Natika ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. You can please start. Ma'am, your screen is, yeah, we can see first screen. Yeah, you can please start.
Yes. Good afternoon to all the participants and attendees of the FDP on outcome-based education, paradigm shift in higher education. Welcome to the afternoon first session, which is conducted by Dr. Professor Pankaj Trivedi. Sir is currently the Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business Studies at Somaiya Vidyavihar University, Mumbai. Sir has a doctoral degree with 2 master's degrees in banking and economics from the University of Mumbai. He is also an associate of the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. He has a work experience spanning 20 years at the bank level and 18 years of experience as a full-time faculty teaching at the postgraduate level. He is a recognized PhD guide by the Somaiya Vidyavihar University, University of Mumbai, and also SNDT University. He has successfully guided, and the degrees have been awarded to 8 of his PhD candidates and 3 MPhil scholars. He has written and presented more than 50 research papers at various national and international conferences, and they have been published too. He was awarded the Best Teacher of Finance by the Higher Education Forum jointly with the Bombay Stock Exchange. He is also a member of the expert team for granting NBA accreditation to several management institutions in India. He is a regular visiting faculty at the DHBW University and also the Stuttgart University in Germany. We welcome Dr. Pankaj Trivedi, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the generous introduction. Thank you. Should I start?
Yes, sir, please.
Let me share my presentation.
Yes, sir, yes.
I hope all of you are able to see it. Hello?
Yes, sir, your presentation is visible, sir.
Yeah.
Only,
yeah.
sir, please come on to presentation mode.
Yeah, I am on presentation mode only.
Yes, sir, yes.
Yeah, is it on presentation mode now? No?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, it is.
It is, right? Okay, okay. So good afternoon to one and all who are present in this session. And at the outset, I would like to thank the St. Francis Institute of Management Studies and Research for inviting me to share some of my thoughts on OBE framework for higher education, outcome-based education framework for higher education. So it's a short presentation where I'll try to explain to you what is this OBE framework, why it is required, and what are its objectives and uses and all that. And then at the end, if you have any question, I would be glad to answer those. So this is a background slide. I would like to start in this way, that all of you know that ours is a very large country, and the education sector in India has also grown up over a period of time. And today we have so many institutions which are providing higher education to people in India, like colleges, universities, institute, research institute. So many good institute we have, and we have a very large and robust ecosystem, right? So to start with, how many universities we have? Many of you must be knowing we have around 1,000 universities in India. To be precise, it is 1,078. Yeah. And every year, so many graduates are produced by these universities, right? Nearly 7 million graduates across various disciplines are produced by these 1,000 universities, and nearly 44,000 colleges which are affiliated to these universities, right? But the most important question that arises, and many times you must have also came across, that how many of them are employable? These 7 million graduates are produced every year, but how many of them are employable? So this question is a one which lead to this outcome-based education and other aspects, right? So according to India Skill Report 2023, there is a report called India Skill Report 2023. Only 50% of these graduates are employable. Yeah, and of these employable, how many are fit to work on the day one? What you call, day one ready employees. That data we don't have. So of those 50%, I think still less number of students must be fit to work on day one. So all these issues led authorities to think about outcome-based education, right? And all of you know that a nation is known by quality of population. When we look at these statistics, definitely we come to the conclusion that as far as the quantity of population is concerned, we are blessed by the nature. But as far as the quality of population in India is concerned, we need to do so many things. We need to do a lot of improvement, right? And when you talk about quality of population, higher education is the most important factor which is affecting the quality. Of course, basic education is also important for any country. Even basic education in India is also facing several challenges. But when you talk about quality of population, the focus is on higher education. So today we are going to talk about how to improve the quality of this population and how to improve the higher education system in the country, right? So this slide is an introductory slide which says that higher education is the key driver for growth and performance. I'm sure all the participants will agree that when you talk about growth, when you talk about development, when you talk about performance of a country, it is the higher education, or as we saw in the earlier slide, the quality of population matters. The growth of the country is not only depends upon GDP, but it also depends upon the quality of population. Because if the quality of the population is good, if the quality of population is excellent, then definitely the productivity and the performance of the people in the country will be good, and the country
Sir,
will lead to
sorry to
growth.
intervene.
Yeah,
Sir,
please,
sorry.
please.
Are you changing the slide, sir?
Yes, yes, I am changing
Sir,
the
we
slide.
cannot see your slide
Oh, is it?
change.
You are
Sir,
able to
can
see
you?
now?
No, no, sir.
No?
Sir, can
1
you
minute.
just do it in the full screen mode?
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Just a moment.
Yes, sir. Masuma ma'am, you have raised your hand. Any query meanwhile? And we have enabled the mic also now.
Yeah, ma'am. It was for the same reason.
Okay, 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 fine, fine.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yes, sir. We can see your slide.
Yeah,
Sir,
you
can
can
you
see
please
the slide?
change? Yeah, can you please change one slide now? Yeah, sir, we can see the slide
Now
now.
you can
Yes,
see
sir.
the other slide?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah?
sir, we can see.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine, fine.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So sorry for this interruption, but we were discussing about this introductory slide, which says that it is the higher education which is a key driver for growth and performance of any country. So as we saw in the earlier slide also, that in this field we are facing various challenges, and therefore UGC under its quality mandate emphasize on learning outcome. Because the biggest problem that we have is students are getting degrees, students are getting their graduation qualification, but at the end of getting the degree, at the end of completing their study, what is that they have learned, what is the learning outcome? In that matter, the entire student fraternity, even teachers, all that many times are clueless. That's the reason under UGC, quality mandate is emphasizing the learning outcome. So the purpose of this outcome-based education is improving the quality of higher education in India, right? So with this background, now we will come to our specific topic of today, that is outcome-based education, right? So the first question that arises is, what is outcome-based education, right? So answer to this question you can get in a couple of slides here. Outcome-based education is an approach towards teaching and learning philosophy. So it is slightly different approach than the traditional approach that we used to follow. Under traditional approach, it was only teaching which was emphasized. Learning was not emphasized. But under outcome-based education, teaching as well as learning, both are emphasized. So this is how OBE is a different system or different approach to the teaching to the students, that here teaching and learning both are considered. It focuses on organizing the entire academic program around clearly defined outcomes. So under outcome-based education, as this point says, that all we have to do is we have to define first what are the outcome of this particular program. It may be any program. Let us say it may be engineering, it may be management, it may be science, it may be computer, anything, right? But what are the outcome at the end of this program that we need to decide in advance. So that is what it is focusing. It is focusing on organizing entire program towards this objectives, towards this outcome, that when the person become graduate in, let us say, management, or in, let us say, engineering, this should be the things that he should have learned. This the thing should be, he should be able to do. That is what the outcome based education is all about. The teaching effort should also be around clearly defined outcome. When the teacher will teach the student, the efforts of the teacher should also be very clearly around these outcomes, which are predetermined, so that it will be very focused. You know, in the traditional system of teaching, there used to be, all of you are aware, some syllabus. Teacher used to cover that syllabus in the class, and the teacher feels that his job is over. But under outcome-based education, this is not so. Under outcome-based education, teacher is well aware of predetermined outcomes of that particular program, and the efforts of his or her teaching should be such that those outcomes should be achieved. So outcome-based education is in this way different. It is a student-centered instruction model, and it is focusing on student performance. Here, performance of the student is given importance. Again, under traditional education system, only emphasis was given on teaching. What is the performance of the student? That was not given much importance. If at all performance was measured, it was measured by traditional exam, where the students have to write some answer. They can mug up the answer, they can remember, and simply they will write the answer, and their performance was judged. Under outcome-based education, what they are able to do, that is emphasized, not simply what they are able to write in the answer sheet. So this is how it is slightly different. One more slide will help you to understand what is outcome-based education, still in a better way. It is not just on knowledge delivery in higher education. As I am telling you repeatedly, earlier system was simply giving them knowledge. But under outcome-based education, emphasis is given on the application of the knowledge. Application of the knowledge to real life problem solving. I'm sure many of you must have started this particular system. You might have already started, but you may not be knowing that it is called outcome-based education. Because nowadays I'm aware there are many institutes and there are many colleges, when they set their question paper to evaluate the students, they give real life problem in that question paper. The emphasis is on case study method. So this is all nothing but the beginning of outcome-based education. Outcome-based education specify what graduates after getting a degree is expected to know, expected to do, as it is clearly I have highlighted, understand and be able to do at the end of their program of study. So that is outcome-based education. Not simply what they know, but they should be able to do that, right? So for example, I have given several examples also in my further slide. You will get to know. Let's say, for example, somebody has completed MBA in finance. Then he should be able to do finance managers or finance controller activities. So that is something called outcome-based education. The outcome-based education framework works towards more holistic experience of the students. Here, the students are developed all round. Holistic experience is given importance here, right? So I hope you must have got some idea about what is outcome-based education. So put it in a very simple language, certain outcome for each program, certain outcome for each course is to be predetermined. And the entire effort of the teacher should be towards those outcomes or should be towards those objectives. Entire curriculum that you will set should be such which results into achieving those outcomes. So that is outcome-based education. Now question arises, what is the need for outcome-based education? Why we are talking about outcome-based education? Earlier education system that I am referring to was having certain limitations. What is the need for OBE? So a couple of slides will tell you about that. So need for OBE is under traditional system, education focuses on teachers' input and presume that learning has occurred, right? But actually, what you observe is in all cases, learning might not have occurred. And that's the reason OBE is focusing on application of the knowledge that is acquired, right? Ultimately, it is the application of the knowledge that is important. And that is the need for outcome-based education. There is a clarity on what is to be achieved, and that achievement is predetermined. Even this point also I have covered, that all the outcome, all the achievements are predetermined so that there is a clarity to student, there is clarity to teachers, there is clarity to employer, there is clarity to parents. Everybody will have clarity that at the end of this program, these are the outcome that the student will be able to achieve. It demands the students to actively engage in the learning process and demonstrate the skill through more challenging tasks and higher order of thinking. See, outcome-based education is also required to take the students to higher and higher level. I'm sure all of you must be knowing about that, what you call, that new system which is prevailing, where understanding, then, getting knowledge, and then application of the knowledge and creating knowledge, So that challenging task of higher order of thinking results because of the outcome-based education. So that is the need for outcome-based education. Yeah. Similarly, when you look at the objectives of outcome-based education, still there will be more clarity. The objectives of outcome-based education helps in this way. OBE is a reference point for formulating graduate attributes, right? You wanted to know that once a person becomes graduate from the university, what are the attributes he or she should possess? So for that purpose, you need to have outcome-based education. I think you will agree with me, right? Same way, qualification descriptors. What are the qualification descriptors in that person? For that purpose also, outcome-based education is required. Program outcome and course outcome, right? All of you are aware of this term, program outcome, course outcome, all the these two aspects. So outcome-based education helps us to decide what are the program outcomes and what are the course outcomes. So that is also one of the objectives of outcome-based education. It also helps in curriculum planning and development, right? So all of you know that curriculum planning and development is one of the most important part in the entire higher education ecosystem. All the modern institute, universities, colleges, they have a well-defined structure for curriculum planning and development. For every particular discipline, they have board of studies where there are members. Some of them are academicians, some of them are industry experts, and they suggest what type of changes are required to be made in curriculum. All that structure we already have, but when we decide if outcome for each discipline are in front of us, then I think we are able to decide the curriculum and develop curriculum in a better way. So that is also one of the objectives. Similarly, as I told you, to understand the nature and level of learning outcome that graduates are capable to demonstrate at the end of getting the degree or at the end of graduation, what they are able to demonstrate. That clarity also everyone will have, be it a student, be it a parents, or be it a employer. So that is also one of the objective of outcome-based education. Similarly, outcome-based education also provides educational institution the focus area. For example, for designing teaching learning strategies. Once the outcome are in front of you, you will be able to design what should be the teaching pedagogy, what should be the teaching strategy. Same way, what should be the learning strategies for the student. Not only that, for assessing students' learning level, because as I was telling you a few minutes before, you will start evaluating the student based on the outcome that you have decided for a particular course, based on the outcome that you have decided for a particular program. So this is how it will also help us to assess the students' learning, whether students are able to achieve those outcomes. For periodic review of the program and academic standard, as you know, constantly upgradation is required. Constant improvement in the standard is required. And for that purpose, periodical review we need to do. So here also outcome-based education is very critical. To maintain national standard of higher education, once your country start following outcome-based education, then the national standard of higher education in the country will also rise, and it will be able to compete globally, and it is also useful to do international comparison. As all of you are aware that many times international comparison is done with India and many other Western European countries, US and other developed countries with respect to education system. And we find that on many grounds, our system is lacking something. On many grounds, we need to make certain improvement. All that we are noticing and we are aware of, because all of us are mostly academicians. So we are aware of it. So once the outcome-based education system is introduced in our country, then definitely we are able to improve our standard and we will be able to compete at globally. So these are the objectives of outcome-based education. So we saw what is the concept, what is this outcome-based education is, what is the need for outcome-based education, what are the objectives of outcome-based education. Now let us see what are the key outcomes. We are talking about outcome-based. What are the key outcomes? So key outcome of any program, key outcome of any course, it depends upon what is that program or what is that course. It differs from program to program and course to course, obviously, right? But the graduates that we are producing, our universities, when they produce graduates, the graduate attributes are the particular quality and the features or the characteristics that we are expecting in a person, right? Whenever we are talking about any graduate produced by any university in India, some of the features, some of the characteristics are expected, and that is the key outcome for any program or any course. So these are nothing but some knowledge, some skill, attitudes, and values. So these are the key outcomes. Knowledge, what kind of knowledge the student possesses relating to his or her discipline, what kind of skill that he possesses, what is his attitude, and what is the value system, right? It also includes quality of graduates to widen the current knowledge and skill. This is one of the outcomes. The graduate that we produce should always be ready to widen his skill, to widen his current knowledge, gaining new skill, gaining new knowledge. Then only we can say that we are successful in achieving outcome-based education. And ultimately, the graduates that we produce should be a responsible citizen in the society. This is a particular aspect which is very important in the current situation, because you must be observing that many things are going in our country where responsibility towards the society is very critical, right? So I have listed out some 12 key characteristics of outcome-based graduate. These are some of the 12 characteristics that graduate should have. So these are very simple characteristics. If you just go through, you will be able to understand. Number one is knowledge relating to their discipline. Obviously, it is expected, this is the minimum thing that is expected, that if you are a science graduate, you should have knowledge relating to your discipline. If you are a physics graduate, chemistry graduate, you are a commerce graduate or management or whatever. Yeah. So this is bare minimum thing that is expected. Number two is critical thinking. Now, this aspect was lacking in our traditional education. But nowadays, people have started, I mean, the ecosystem, the education ecosystem have started understanding this. Universities, UGCs, they have also taken various steps, and critical thinking is introduced in almost every course, in almost every subject, so that students should be able to evaluate, should be able to think critically. So this is also one of the key attributes to my mind. Next is the communication. That is very important. Effective communication, right? So here what we find, our experience is, even today, many graduates are not very effective in communication. They are not good in articulation. If they want to say something, they are not able to say it very clearly. So this is also one of the outcome that is required, that at the end of their graduation, they should be able to communicate effectively. Similarly, analytical and scientific reasoning. This is also lacking many times in many graduates. So this should also be one of the outcome, right? There should be analytical reasoning, analytical skill, and scientific reasoning is required. You know, in our country, as you know, that a lot of superstition and various issues, social issues, all these comes under the social issues. So if you want to improve the society of our country, then scientific reasoning is also very critical. Yeah. Similarly, problem solving, this is also one of the key characteristics. When somebody completes a graduation in a particular discipline, he or she should be able to solve some problem relating to that discipline. So this problem solving is also one of the key outcomes. And here, as I was telling you, the case study method of teaching, etc., is very, very useful. Cooperation and teamwork, needless to say, this is very important for success of any organization where there are a group of people working. Digital literacy is also required in the current time, because now we are living in an environment where digital literacy is very, very important. The person who is not familiar with digital literacy perhaps may be called illiterate probably after 5 years or so. To that extent, technology has taken over, right? Multicultural competence. So this aspect also I have covered. As I told you, in our society, which is very diverse, we have a lot of diversity in our country, diversity in our society. And therefore, the graduate should be able to adjust, adapt himself with multicultural people. Moral and ethical practice, needless to say, what is the significance of ethics and morality, which is taught to the students by their parents right from the very young age, right from the childhood. But then this is required to be strengthened by the schools and colleges. Leadership quality is also one of the key outcome to my mind, because many times we are noticing that person may be highly qualified but lacking leadership quality. When I say leadership quality, one of the most important aspects is decision making. but they are not taking decision. They get scared to take decision, isn't it, right? They are scared to take decisions. So they simply shift the responsibility on others. If I am sitting in a chair, if I have some authority, I should take decision, isn't it, right? But they will say, no, I have to ask to somebody, I have to take permission, this, that. So this leadership quality is also very critical amongst the graduates, and therefore that is also one of the key outcomes. Self-awareness of limitations. This is something which is lacked by many of us, right? We should know our limitation. If the person is aware of his limitation, then probably he should be able to overcome over a period of time. So that is also one of the key outcome graduates should have. And finally, research bent of mind. This is also one of the aspects where always we academicians says and compare the research culture, the research level in our country along with many developed countries, and we say that we are lacking in research. So of course, there are a variety of reasons for that, but then research bent of mind is also one of the key outcome the graduate should possess, irrespective of their discipline. So these are the 12 important characteristics of outcome-based graduates, right? So these are the things that is required. Now question arises, how to measure outcome-based education, right? So probably now the slides that I'm going to cover is known to all of you because all of you are from academics. So all of you must be knowing what is course outcome, what is program outcome, what is program educational outcome. Probably you must be knowing, so it may be a repetition. If it is a repetition, please excuse me, but it's a part of outcome-based education. So I have covered in another 3-4 slides like this. So how to measure outcome-based education, right? We are talking about graduate should possess this skill, that knowledge, all that, right? So how to measure it? So OBE model measures the progress of the graduates in 3 parameters. And these 3 parameters are course outcome, as we call it CO, program outcome, and program educational outcome, right? So we need to understand very clearly what is the difference between these 3. First 2 are very simple. Course outcome and program outcome are relatively easy to understand, but many times confusion takes place between program outcome and program educational outcome. So that confusion I will try to remove. Anyway, so let us begin with what is course outcome. So course outcome are narrow statements. They are very narrow statements that describe what the students are expected to know and what they are able to do at the end of each course or at the end of each subject. What they should know and what they should be able to do at the end of each subject, right? Nowadays, we are using the term course. Earlier, we used to say subject. Subject is a British term. Course is an American term. So earlier we used to say, I have studied 4 subjects. Now the student says, I have studied 4 courses. Yeah, so it's a course or subject. So at the end of a particular subject, at the end of a particular course, what the student is expected to know, what the student should be able to do, that is something called course outcome. So every institute or every college, whatever course that they have in their program structure, for each course, they should be very clear with the outcome, right? So that the efforts can be directed towards achieving those outcomes. Course outcome are more oriented towards the subject. As I told you here, we are talking about a specific subject. The course outcome are more related to the skill, knowledge, and behavior of the students to acquire a particular knowledge, particular skill within a program. As I told you, in a program, there are many courses, there are many subjects in a particular program. For each subject, for each course, you are deciding some outcome. So collectively, they become the program outcome. Individually, they are course outcome. but since one program is a collection of various courses, so collectively they become the program outcome, right? So one example I have given, of course you are aware of, because you must be in the process of deciding also. Many of you must have decided course outcome for the course that you teach, right? You must have put up that before the accreditation authorities, all that you must have done. But in spite of that, one example for those who are not aware, let us say the name of the course is analysis of financial statement. I, being a finance person, I'll be able to give examples of finance. So let us say analysis of financial statement is a subject, is a course. So at the end of completion of the course, what the student is expected, the student should be able to analyze, understand, and should be able to interpret the figures given in the financial statement of any business, of any organization, of any company, of any concern. So that is nothing but the course outcome. So the faculty teaching a particular course should predetermine, should decide in advance what should be the course outcome, right? Take one more example. Let us say investment management is another course. So at the end of the completion of the course of investment management, students should be able to take investment decision, because then only that course is having meaning, isn't it, right? So should be able to take investment decision based on analysis of financial market and financial instruments. So this is something called course outcome, which is useful to measure outcome-based education. All right. Proceeding further, let us talk about program outcome. So what is this program outcome? Program outcome is also narrow in nature. It describes what the students are expected to know at the end of the entire program, not a particular course, but the entire program. As I told you, first two are not very difficult to understand, because all of we are very clear what is the difference between course and the program. So it is not difficult to understand. So at the end of the program, upon graduation, what the students are expected to know, what the student should be able to do, that is something called program outcome. What would they be able to do upon the graduation? They mean students should able to do upon the graduation. So these program outcomes are related to the skills that they have acquired at the end of the program, knowledge that they acquire at the end of the program, behavior that they should show at the end of the program. So these are all your program outcomes. It includes initial capabilities, competence, skills, etc. These parameters are called graduate attributes. And as I told you in the beginning, that it differs from discipline to discipline and level to level. Say program outcome at graduation level are quite different than program outcome at postgraduate level. So this is program outcome. Students in the institute are from different backgrounds, culture and experience. Why program outcome is important? See, in any institution, students are from different backgrounds. They are from different culture, right? Many nowadays, particularly at a higher education institution, students are coming from various parts of the country or even various parts of the globe. If your university is well known, then you can attract even foreign students. So each of these students has got different culture, different background and all that. But at the end of the program, institute should be able to broaden their horizon and attitude. As I told you, holistic development, and to develop their current skill and abilities and learn the new one. Institute is successful only if institute is able to broaden their horizon, attitude, and should be able to make them to learn new skill and new knowledge. It will not only help in their studies and future career, but also to support their role within the society, right? So you must be observing program outcome is slightly broader than the course outcome. Course outcome is talking only about one particular course, whereas here we are talking about holistic development of the student. So this is program outcome, and one example of program outcome, so that you will have a little more clarity. Say, for example, a program is MBA Finance. It is a program like this. It can be any program. It can be BTech in computer engineering or MSc Physics or whatever, right? So a program, MBA Finance is a program. On completion of MBA Finance, students should have complete knowledge. In the bracket, deliberately I have written read fair, because getting complete knowledge is very difficult. Even if the students become postgraduate, I'm sure all of you will agree with me. Perhaps openly you may not agree, but frankly you will agree with me. Even if the student has completed his master degree from well-known institute, complete knowledge is very difficult. But at least fair knowledge student should have. Okay, so students should have complete knowledge and skill relating to all the courses that he or she has studied, right? Because here we are talking about program, okay? And should be able to solve real life financial problem based on the skill and the competency acquired during their study. And when they solve these real life problem, they should not ignore ethical and social values, right? In the light of ethical and social values, they should be able to solve the real life financial problem. Let us say a company want to raise the fund, a company want to make investment, company want to acquire some other company, anything, yeah? So the student should be able to solve these kind of real life problem, right? Based on the competency that is acquired. So this is called program outcome. Under course outcome, we were talking about one particular subject. Here we are talking about overall program. Of course, it will take some time, because mind that is all talk. It's very difficult to make the student day one ready. They need some experience. They need to get some training. Then only they should be able to do it. Anyway, so this is program outcome. And now coming to program education outcome, right? So, which I was telling you that there is some confusion between program outcome and program education outcome. So what is this program education outcome? It is very broad. Program education outcome is very broad in nature. It is broader than program outcome. Program education outcome is what the program is preparing graduates for in their career and professional life. So here we are talking about long term. Please understand. In case of program outcome, we are talking about short term. Here we are talking about long term. Program education outcome are actually measured 4 to 5 years after graduation. This is my belief. I don't know whether you agree with this. When you talk about program education outcome, it cannot be measured immediately after completion of the program. It can be measured after 4 to 5 years after graduation. Why this is so? Because read the example that I have given in this slide. For example, program education outcome for MBA Finance is what? Exactly it is what? Is graduates will demonstrate financial competency and leadership to become professional finance manager, leading to a successful career. So if a person want to demonstrate financial competency, if the person want to demonstrate leadership quality, it takes some time. It cannot be measured at the end of the year. When he will work for 5 years, 6 years, then he will be able to demonstrate, then he will be able to show that whatever that he has learned in the universities and college, that outcome he has achieved. So this is the difference between program education outcome and program outcome. I hope you have understood what this difference is all about. So this is long term, this is broad, and this is long term. So this is program education outcome. And then my end note at the end, I would like to say that educational goals have moved beyond simple knowledge acquisition. As I told you in the beginning, nowadays the concept of education has undergone a lot of changes, right? It has moved beyond simple knowledge acquisition. It is not simply imparting the knowledge. That is not education. Today, students' engagement and higher order cognitive learning, this is important. In today's education system, this is given importance, right? Higher order cognitive learning, such as problem solving and critical thinking, are important, right? Today, we are talking about problem solving and critical thinking. And on what ground I am saying this? Simple example I'll tell you. When I become graduate, I'm talking about early 80s. In early 80s, when I become graduate, we never had a case study up to graduation. Case studies were there only in post-graduation. We never had a project work up to graduation. We never had internship up to graduation. But in today's curriculum, in today's education system, even the students who are in the first year of graduation, second year of graduation, they have case studies, they have internship, they have immersion. So the education system has changed, and the student engagement and higher order cognitive learning, such as problem solving, has started. So this is what we need to achieve further, right? Teachers have to learn more about their students and their students' need. In our time, again, I'm talking about early 80s, the teachers were not much bothered about the students. Teachers were having in front of them the syllabus, and that syllabus they used to complete. That's all, right? The assessment process should also support students in overcoming the barriers to learning. We need to have a lot of changes in the assessment method. I'm sure in this particular program, which is organized by the St. Francis Institute, there is one session by some expert on assessment process and method also. So probably in that session, you'll be able to get more information that what type of changes are required in assessment. In fact, St. Francis Institute has designed the program very nicely. Curriculum development, assessment, everything they are covering in each session. So my point is that today the expectation of the student, the system, the environment has changed so much that we need to focus on outcome-based education, right? And this is the last slide. So this is my view about education. When we say what is education, after all, what is education? So my definition of education is this: that when you forget everything that you have learned, when one person, or when you forget everything that you have learned in school, colleges, and university, and then what remains is the real education. So this is my definition of education, and this definition also emphasizes on outcome-based education. It is not what is your percentage, what is your marks. What remains after you forget everything that you have learned in college and university? What ethical practices that still is with you? What morality? What kind of societal concern? All that is real education to my mind. And the last slide is the most important slide. And here it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Pankaj Trivedi, sir.
Yeah.
So now it is time for the question and answer round. Requesting all the participants and attendees to pose your queries either on chat, or you can ask your question directly to sir. Hello, am I audible? Hello.
You're audible.
Yes.
ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you, Poonam ma'am. Yes. Requesting any of the participants or attendees to ask queries to sir.
Sir, I had a query.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we are talking about the 12 graduate attributes, what
Yeah.
I am aware of only the 12 graduate attributes which have been defined by NBA.
Yeah.
Are there any other international bodies which have defined the graduate attributes and which can be taken into consideration?
No, see, as far as our country is concerned, NB has clearly defined. But to my mind, that list is not exhaustive. You know, you can add something more into that. Ultimately, as I said, graduate is from which discipline and at what level that matters. It differs from discipline to discipline and level to level. But the 12 attributes which I have put up in my presentation are the bare minimum that should be possessed by all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Poonam has raised her hand. Ma'am, if you could ask your query to sir.
Good afternoon. Sir, first of all, thank you so much for such a wonderful session in very simple way and impressive way you explained us. Sir, as you already said that it's NBA related graduate attributes and we follow that procedure. You mentioned in your presentation that PEO should be measured actually uh, it should be after
Yeah.
4 years and all.
After
But then
4,
we have
5 years.
observed that there are some NBA documents and all which required us
Where it is
to
required.
go through to find out the attainment of PEO
Yeah.
relation, showing the
That's true.
mapping and attainment. So sometimes yes,
So
it's difficult.
frankly,
it's a question mark
yeah,
also.
carry on. Yeah. So you want answer for that, right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to listen from you.
Naturally. See, let me tell you, madam, this is my personal view. Program educational outcome should be measured after considerable period of time. That is my personal view. But as you rightly said, the accrediting authority asks you to define program education outcome, not only define, it should be mapped, it should be measured, all that. But my question to you is whether it is possible. If it is possible, let us say if it is possible, then what is the difference between program outcome and program education outcome? Then there will not be any difference. That is what my understanding is. If that is the case, then it is only a matter of articulating in a different way by using different words. That's all, just to meet that requirement. But if you want to go to the spirit of program outcome and program education outcome, then it is long term. Program education outcome is long term.
Correct, sir. Very
We all
correct.
are doing what you said is right.
Yes.
Even when I go for NB accreditation, I also ask for that, honestly. But this is the view I wanted to put before the audience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Nita madam, you are on mute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, a query is asked by Mr. Sean Longford. His query is there a difference between program educational objectives and program specific objectives? Difference between PEOs and PSOs?
No. See, sometimes this instead of outcome, the word objective is used. Program specific and program outcome, same. Program specific, program outcome is same.
Sir, again, he has asked again a query. His query is how we can assess the attainment of the PEOs.
Yeah. See, PEO, program education outcome, as I told you, it takes time. But let us say the graduates that your university is producing, if they are able to work successfully in real life, then you can say you are able to achieve your program educational outcome. That is as with respect to PEO, right? As far as other outcomes are concerned, say course outcome. So there, I think all of you must be knowing, when you set the question paper, the questions are to be set in such a way that when the students give answer to that question, you should be able to assess the student with respect to the outcome that you have predetermined, right? Something like critical thinking, something like team spirit, something like global knowledge, something like management knowledge. These are some of the course specific outcomes. Let us say if I am teaching international finance, for example, right? Then my course specific or course outcome could be, let us say, a global awareness with respect to financial market. So when I set the question paper, some of the question in my question paper should be such which will help me to judge whether student is aware of the global financial market. Same way, when you talk about program outcome, it is a sum total of all the courses which are there in your program. So that way you can assess. But as far as program educational output is concerned, it can be assessed only based on the performance of the graduate in the real life, in the real world. And that's the reason many times you must be knowing that we also give emphasis on feedback of the employer's feedback with respect to our students, you know. So that's the reason it is important. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a query has been raised by Dr. Swati Agarwal. Swati ma'am, if you can raise your query to sir.
Yeah,
Dr. Swati
Ye-
Agarwal.
Yes, sir. Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon.
Thank you for your wonderful insights. My question was, you gave example of program outcome like for MBA finance,
Yeah.
right? Like my query was like when MBA started, it's common for 2 semesters. So the program outcomes change with every semester, like they are course outcome
No.
or they are program outcomes.
No. They are not semester wise. They are at the end
Okay.
of the program. They are at the end of the program. Semester wise, there is no semester outcome. There is nothing like semester outcome. We have course outcome, we have program outcome. That's it. So at the end of the program, right? So first year may be common, but second year the student may go for specialization. Suppose your university don't offer any specialization. It's a general MBA, let us say general MBA. Then your program outcome should be designed keeping in mind what kind of attributes general MBA person should possess.
So yes, sir. So course outcome changes with every semester and program outcome remains
certainly,
same, right?
certainly. Course
Thank you so
outcome
much.
changes. Course outcome changes with every course, not even a semester. Every course. Let us say in a particular semester, you have 8 courses. So for all 8 courses, you should have different course outcome. Because course outcome for marketing management cannot be same to same with that of financial management. Yeah?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Dr. Poonam, do you have a query again?
No, ma'am. I think I'm done with this hand raise. I'll lower it.
Okay, thank you. Any other queries that could be asked to sir? Yes, Sancheta ma'am, you can raise a query to sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, is it like suppose I start with the teaching of the subject and then like whatever the course outcomes that I made last year, this year I feel like I want to change.
You can do that. You can do because you want to go to the next level.
Okay.
Because you want to go to the next level. Yeah. So
now
you can do
suppose
that.
I change as per this batch requirement, and next batch I feel that like they need some more detailing. So I have to go to the lower level. Can I go back to lower level?
Yeah, even that also, to my mind, you can do that also. Suppose you feel that the class that you are teaching, right?
Yeah.
For them, the outcome that you have set are too difficult to achieve. Then in that case, you can reduce your outcome, but your attempt should be always to go up. You know, that Bloom's taxonomy you must have heard. Bloom's
Yes.
taxonomy. I'm sure all of you must have heard. You must
Yes.
have heard about
Actually,
Bloom.
regarding that only I had the query, because Bloom's
Yeah.
taxonomy always says that we have to go
Yeah,
and go
that's
up
right.
in the ladder.
That's
but,
right. That's right. But
hmm.
suppose, let us say, frankly, I'm telling you, let us say the crowd that you are teaching, they are not of very high quality. And if you expect from them that they should create something, create is the topmost, right? Okay, they should create something. That is impossible to achieve, isn't it? So for them, it is understanding and then doing, then applying, all that. And then last, that creation will come. So that's the reason in one of the slide I put that this outcome depends upon the level. Outcome depends upon the discipline.
Right.
All you have to keep in. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Sometimes what happens, madam, sometimes we become very, very rigid because this regulator issues some directives and we become very rigid. But in the process, the system affects. So my thinking is like that. Though regulator is to be respected, no doubt about it. We have to follow that. But then when the regulator comes, we can justify to them. And I'm sure if the person is proper, then he will understand. Yeah. So
And
as you said, can I go for downward rather than go upward? Yeah.
okay. And sir, one more thing.
Yeah,
Like suppose when we are following Bloom's taxonomy, there are certain verbs which are at different levels. Like that is at evaluate level also, and that is at apply level also. Now, in the question, I'm mentioning that this is of this particular level, but will a student understand that and answer in that manner? He might not be able to understand that. No, so then later on, when we are mapping it, will that be considered as a violation, or that's absolutely fine because we have used the same verb in two questions and showing that one is of level 2 and one is of level 3, or one is of level 3, one is of level 4. Is that
I don't
okay?
think it's a violation. I don't think it's a violation. And as far as the point that you raised, whether student understand all these things, yeah, that is also one of the very important point. Though it's a very hard fact, people may not like it, but I am associated with MBA study and MBA institute. Therefore, you see all that we are talking about outcome-based education and these and that and so many things, seminars, conferences, Bloom taxonomy, these, that, right? But as far as the MBA course is concerned, I think those who are here from MBA management, they will agree with me. Ultimately, what matters for MBA institute? It is the placement. Let me tell you, it's the placement. Yeah. See,
Yes,
you may be
I
having.
totally agree with you, sir. Very
Yeah,
true.
you may be having excellent outcome, excellent course outcome, excellent program outcome, everything. But if you are not able to give them placement, nobody will come to your institute. So, so as far as the student understanding the point that you have raised is one, but I think gradually the system may improve. Gradually, as I told you, when I was student, we were not having case study. I'm talking at graduate level, right? But today, even at graduate level, there is a case study. So, thoda awareness बढ़ रहा है, amongst the student, parents, employers, all that, right? Somebody has endorsed my view that placement is the most critical in MBA colleges.
Yes, in fact, I was planning to talk to you, sir. I'm Dr. Rusha Kumar from GNVS IOM.
Thank you, sir.
I heard Bakshi sir also coming out and, speaking. We are talking about the drafting the national education policy.
Yeah.
But when we look into the facts, especially with management, we have a stipulated framework set in by the university on one hand, on the other hand, directives which the government is taking. But then we know when a student takes admission, his sole objective is which placement.
Yeah.
In that
Unfortunately, but it's a
case,
fact.
yes. So in that case, it's very conflicting. So somehow so many aspects have to be touched upon, resolved, because only then we will be able to come out with a framework which can be applicable for all streams.
Yeah.
So there's a
Right,
lot
madam.
to be done and coordinated.
Yeah. Right, madam. You are right.
Thank you so much for your session. It was very enlightening. But then, yes, when we talk about certain streams, we have our own constraints.
Yeah. That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. I can see Jagruti want to ask. Jagruti knows me. Hi, Jagruti. Jagruti Gijare wants to ask.
Hello, hello, Miss Jagruti.
I can see her name here. I know her. That's the reason.
Hello, Miss Sonu
Link.
Gupta, ma'am. You also can pose your query to sir.
Yeah, please. Then
Sir, I wanted to ask
please,
that
please.
when BA and MAC committees come down, they
Yeah.
usually compare, their expectation is also that we are comparing the batch-wise PO attainment also. Now, when we say that we can change the POs for a particular batch, or maybe if we are evolving, the system is evolving and we have changed our PO attainment methodology, suppose. So does the comparison between two batches still remain relevant when the POs have changed or the formula has changed for them?
No, I don't think you can have PO for batch. As I told the earlier answer also, depending upon the quality of the students that you have to decide. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to achieve the objectives.
Okay. So it does not matter that we are having
It
the
does
two
not matter.
POs or two different set of formula for PO attainment.
Certainly not. Certainly.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Professor Jagruti.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I had a small query. When you were talking about COs and POs, sir, program outcomes are different for different courses. For example, if I'm teaching for MBA, the course program outcomes will be different for MBA and for BMS. For example, if we are having BMS and MMS, the POs will be different for the two things, right, sir?
Yeah, correct. Because the level is different, no? The level is different, so PO would be different. Yeah.
And secondly, when you just now talked about PO, for the 2-year program, how do we map our POs, sir? Like
No,
you say, if we take it after five years, then will it be through the alumni or how?
Yeah. Virtually what happens, even I have observed that there is no much difference between program outcome and program education outcome. There should be difference, but it is the difference of only words, articulation, how you articulate your program education outcome and program outcome. You will make it little broad and you will justify that this is my program education outcome, whereas this is my program outcome. But actually, as I said, when I was making the presentation at that time also, I was expecting that there will be question because this is my view, it cannot be measured immediately. It takes some time because here you are making a person, a graduate, into a holistic kind of a person in the discipline that he has completed his or her graduation.
Okay, sir.
That is what.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sancheta, ma'am, do you have any other query to be asked to sir? Okay. Dear participants, the feedback link has been posted on chat by Dr. Natika. As per the guidelines, the feedback has to be submitted at the end of each and every session. So kindly submit your feedback. So any other?
Ma'am, please provide it
Yes.
via mail also.
Yes, ma'am, already done. Runali ma'am, we have mailed you the feedback link as well in your respective registered email ID.
Yes. Okay. Any other queries? Yes. Dr. Pankaj Trivedi, sir, I am sincerely grateful for presenting a wonderful presentation on the topic of the framework of outcome-based education. You have clarified all the doubts raised by our participants and attendees. You have made the meaning of all the concepts and terms very clear and very precise. So it will help us in framing our course outcomes, our program outcomes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity given to me. And very good questions were asked to me by the participants. All participants, thank you for patience listening. Yeah, it may so happen that on some of the ground you may not agree with me, but in spite of that, you have listened to me patiently. Good questions were asked, and I hope that there is some takeaway at the end of this session. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. Thank you, St. Francis Institute of Management, Director Madam, Dr. Ramesh, and Natika, and all others. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
It was our pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Can I exit, madam? Can I exit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You can.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
With this, we come to the end of day 1 second session. We can take a break till 3 p.m. and we will join for our day 1 third session with Professor Jayashree. Yes, Monica ma'am, you have a doubt? Monica ma'am? Feedback link we have shared with the mail as well as in the chat. Okay, we can take a break and resume at 3 o'clock. You can remain connected or you can log out and log in again as per your ease. Thank you all. Yes, Smita ma'am, anything to share here?
Nothing, ma'am. Nothing.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
We need to join again at 3:15.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me also?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome to the session.
Yeah. You have received my PPTs, no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we have. Good afternoon, faculty and staff members. We will be resuming the session. Our resource speaker, Dr. Jayashree Suresh, has already joined. So we will be starting in few minutes from now.
Hello. Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can I have 2 minutes? I'll just close one door and come.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Aisha, Mila.
They have answered all the quiz questions?
Not yet, ma'am. Not yet.
Not yet, huh?
Yes. It will be
Can you
later.
just share that before we start the session so that I will know?
Ma'am, we cannot share it with the participants before.
Ma'am, I
Hello?
didn't get any quiz questions.
No, ma'am, none of the quiz questions were given. No quiz questions were given to anyone. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, good afternoon to all the participants. Welcome to the second session in the afternoon on restructuring curriculum based on outcome-based education, learning taxonomy, and program objectives. We welcome our resource speaker, Dr. Jayashree Suresh, who is currently the academic advisor for TVS Educational Society, TVS ES. Prior to this, she was the adjunct faculty in Crescent School of Business, head of the MBA department. She was also serving as a professor in Loyola Institute of Business Administration, Liba, Chennai. She has also held an eminent post of Dean DAV, Guru Shikshakanam, Teachers Academy, Chennai. Also a dean in Faculty of Management, SRM University. She was also working at Vaishnav College for Women, and she was also an entrepreneur at JS Corporation Small Enterprise in Textiles, which was involved in manufacturing and marketing made-ups. She was also a research associate in the Indian Institute of Management, IIM Ahmedabad, involved in teaching, research, consultancy, and case development. She has a PhD degree on product mix decision in textile mills at IIM Ahmedabad. She has an MBA from Osmania University, Hyderabad. Also a Bachelor of Arts with Psychology and Philosophy from Osmania University, Hyderabad. To name a few achievements of hers, she was the second in Asia's Best School B-School Awards for the Best Professor in Marketing Management. She is a gold medalist for the Best Faculty Award, SRM University, which was sponsored by Cognizant Technology Solutions. She has also won various Best Teacher Awards in various colleges, such as MOP Vaishnav College. Also, the Best Women Academician Award. She has authored various books dealing with entrepreneurship development, entrepreneur skills. She has also co-authored the textbook of Human Values and Professional Ethics. She is on the editorial board of AMC Indian Journal of Entrepreneurship, which is published by Associated Marketing Consultants, New Delhi. She has written various articles, published various case studies. We welcome you, ma'am, for the session.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Okay, so good afternoon to all the participants. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Good
afternoon,
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Okay,
you
so
can
morning.
share your screen now, ma'am, for the presentation.
Yeah. It was earlier coming, now suddenly it is gone. The PPT was shown there, now it is.
Ma'am, if you want, I can share your presentation on your behalf.
I think, because I downloaded and kept it. I had downloaded and kept it. Okay, so you can just put. You have to go back to first.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so this is as introduced, the topic is outcome-based education. The whole seminar emphasis is on that. And I'm sure from morning you would have heard about what is happening. Now, can I have the next slide, please? Next slide. No, this is the second one. this is, yeah. So the topic is was allocated to me, just hold on, okay. Was in terms of restructuring curriculum based on learning taxonomy program objective. Okay, so those three things. But let us understand why restructuring is required. Okay. I'm sure you would have heard in the morning also, and just quickly I'll just brush through this because I know you would have listened to that the paradigm shift is taking place from teaching to learning. Okay, that is one of the reasons that you require different structure, because for teaching it is different, for learning it is different. The way you think will be different. Okay. Next. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. This, yeah, I think that is better. We can have pull together. Yeah. Teaching, learning. One is teacher centric, another one is student centric. Okay. Now you see that this shift is taking place between teaching to learning, teacher centric to student centric, knowledge based to skill based, disseminating knowledge. Earlier it was just disseminating whatever is in the book. I just explain or describe or make them understand, ask questions about that. So the whole purpose was only disseminating knowledge. But now the focus is on application of knowledge, and our assessment systems were just assessing the knowledge, how far the student has, and this is reflecting on higher education because this whole seminar is on higher education, right? So assessing knowledge was the purpose for which exams were given, marks were given, but now, as we have said, this seminar is on outcome based. Okay, so outcome based goals. What are outcome based? Their goals and results. Now, anybody would like to contribute any other point that you feel that, you know, why restructuring is required? Any point that is missed out here? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just want to, any points do you think they have missed out, or you could add on this? Because why restructuring? Why should you do it, right? First, let's understand. Is there any need for restructuring? If there is no need, why should you do? But why the need is arising? According to me, I feel that this is what the shift is taking place. And when there is shift taking place, you need to, you know, look at your curriculum also, right? So anything that missed out? No. Before this, let me ask you, in the question, that quiz question also had asked one question, right? What is the difference between syllabus and curriculum? Can anybody tell me based on the question that was given? Hello?
Ma'am, can you please pardon syllabus and difference between syllabus and?
Hello?
Can you please pardon up the question?
Hello, I'm asking them to participate. There was question that was given MCQ before the session started also. One of the question was that.
Ma'am,
yeah.
Jayashree ma'am, ma'am, the questions have not been shared with them, ma'am. That is a assessment. So let us not discuss the questions now.
Fine. Okay,
the
right.
questions.
Got your point.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, after this. Okay. Now, so you are aware of, you know, you are aware of what is curriculum and what is syllabus. Can anybody tell me the difference between them, curriculum and, because we are focusing only on curriculum, right? But I would like you to make me understand that what is your understanding, that are they same, curriculum and syllabus, are they same? Are they different? What is the difference? Okay. Yeah, can we have a little bit of opening up there by anybody?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. This is Dr. Swati. So, according to my
Can we lower
understanding,
down this slide, please? Hello.
hello.
Yes, I would like to see. I would like to see the people.
Hello.
Yes, Swati.
Yes, ma'am. So, according to my understanding, curriculum is something which is in limited to the written portion. They've already decided before we start the course, and syllabus is something we can cover based on the curriculum.
Okay. So, according to you, feel that.
I'm not able to hear you. We are not able to hear you, ma'am. You are muted, I think.
Sorry, now you are able to hear me? Hello?
Now
Yes, ma'am, we
yes,
can
ma'am.
hear
We
you,
are able
ma'am.
to hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you are saying that curriculum framework comes first and then comes your syllabus. Am I right? Hello?
Yeah, that's what my understanding is.
Okay. Anybody else who would like to tell, share that what is your understanding, the perception when we use this term? Sometimes these terms are used, simultaneously. You'll see syllabus and the curriculum used together. Sometimes they are used separately. So I just would like to know the clarification that are you clear about the difference between a curriculum and a syllabus?
Dr. Mukherjee has raised a hand. Dr. Mukherjee. Dr. Poonam also has raised a hand.
Good
Am I
Sir,
afternoon,
please
audible?
ma'am.
contribute.
It's
Yes, you
Poonam
are.
Hemnani. Hello, ma'am. Am
Good
I
afternoon.
audible?
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Poonam.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
As per my knowledge, syllabus is strictly for a particular subject, for one
Okay.
particular, whereas the curriculum is actually for the different, different academic teams, collection, different academic teams or program.
Okay.
So
So
it's like syllabus.
let me, yeah. Let me ask you another question. In terms of how many of you who are attending seminar are involved in either curriculum or syllabus? Can I know that? Are you all involved or not involved? Just I want to know so that accordingly I'll pitch myself, right? Whether you were involved in either curriculum or in syllabus or anything, where were you involved? Because so that we will know how to go about doing that, right? Yeah, anybody? Fair enough. You are not involved. You tell them we are not involved. So that's not this thing, because you may not have got opportunity, right, of doing that.
Ma'am, there is an reply which has been given by Miss Rupali Jadhav. So she
Yeah.
says that syllabus is a particular topic and curriculum is a course along with the activity-based planning.
Activity-based planning.
Yes.
Okay. So in syllabus, you don't do activity-based planning?
And Dr. Priyanka says that a syllabus is a document that outlines specific topics, assignments, and assessments for a single course, while a curriculum is a comprehensive plan that outlines the overall goals, objectives, and instructional materials for a particular program of study.
Very good. Absolutely. You are saying that in a particular subject where they are very specific, right? Curriculum is overall for the program. Okay. For example, you take up degree. I don't know which degrees you are teaching or whatever. Undergraduate degree, for example, say BCom, right? Most common is BCom. When you are looking the curriculum for BCom, okay, degree, And then you come to say, okay, this is what. So I will share with you my experience about how we have built up for this new program that madam, when she was introducing, that I'm currently also involved in Crescent School of Business for this program. Okay. So, but before that, I just wanted to understand that what is, because this session is going to be only on curriculum, so which is at a higher level. Syllabus comes later on as you write, right? So the curriculum covers all the aspects that you would like to. So it is multi-dimensional. Okay, there are multiple dimensional that has been looked at when you are looking at the curriculum. Whereas in syllabus, it is particular specific subject that you are talking about. Of course, you have different subjects. Different syllabus is also there, right? Now, so can we go back? So is this any clear that why restructuring is required? Because the focus is moving. I think all of us are experiencing that there is a shift that taking place. So we need to restructure. Only when you, after you do the curriculum restructuring, then syllabus restructuring will happen, right? So the most important is how do you look at the curriculum? So yeah, can I have the next slide, please?
Yes, ma'am.
So is this clear? Yeah, once again, hello. Are these all points clear to all the participants? Can we go back to slide 4? Yeah. Let it be for a little time so that they can. Yeah. Here you have any doubt or anything to raise some issues? You are welcome. So when you are looking from shift from teaching to learning, can anybody give me an example that how you have done for your course that you are handling? Yeah, can you share your experience? Yeah, anybody? Yes, I can see one hand going up. Sean?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Sean Langford from GNBS Institute of Management.
Yeah.
So generally when we're teaching HR, we have this thing for your competency dictionary. So generally what when I was studying also how I learned it was you'd be having a theoretical session where you define how the dictionary works. Whereas for our students, what we do is we give them an assignment or a project where we just give them a basic understanding of how a dictionary should function. And then we ask them to prepare an entire dictionary on their own as a part of a project or an assignment. So the talks are going on to make sure that we are trying to, if possible, bring it out as a entire booklet itself for the library to have it. So the students also will know that this is how a dictionary is to be made and how it can be recorded going down. So this is sort of like it's not teaching the students, but we're asking the students to learn by themselves by referring different existing dictionaries as a reference or as a benchmark. So we shifted from teaching to learning.
Okay. So what is the outcome that you had in your mind, Professor, if I can ask you?
Sure, ma'am. So the outcome from this perspective was to ensure that the students are understanding and will be able to apply their basic concept of competency defining and also improve the recruitment strategies that they can form once they get into the industry. So all placement.
So that means.
Yeah.
Hello, that means you are stopping at application of knowledge there. But how do you look at push yourself to outcome based? Let us listen to another person who had raised the hand. See, I want to make it little interesting. The such discussions only, will make it more interesting and it's learning for all of us right together. So there was another hand that has gone up. So there are no right or wrong answers. Please understand that, okay? Each one has got that style and each one will look it differently. So that is what it is, right? Somebody else has also put up the hand, right?
Yes. Shall I?
Dr.
Yeah.
Pramila?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes,
Madam, in the subject of consumer behavior, we have a topic, rather a model of buying decision-making model. So first, the concept of buying decision model with 3 stages, which I teach them in the classroom, and then the assignment given to them is to conduct a personal interview of a single personal interview of the relative or whoever are accessible to them, and then after means they have to create a structured interview, collect the information, and the interview is regarding a purchase decision which has been taken by the respondent in recent. Recently he has purchased a car or any technology related product, and after going through the entire session, the students are asked to write the report on that interview, and based on that, a model which a conceptual framework already has been taught to them, they have to prepare a model of the persons based on that interview responses taken by the student. So here we can see that the understanding level of the student is more deeper, and the students are applying here how we as a consumer go through these different stages of buying decision making process. And the outcome is, yes, the subject of consumer behavior is to identify the behavioral aspect of consumers.
Yeah.
No,
but again, I'm asking you, just as I asked the professor also, what is the outcome that you are looking at it?
Outcome in the sense in future means as an output of.
So what is your understanding of outcome? If I ask you, what is your understanding of the outcome?
Understanding along with the application
When does
based.
outcome? Huh?
Applying the concept in practice.
Just application is an outcome?
No. In future, as a behavioral aspect, if they are into marketing field, how to gauge the behavior of the consumer. This is one instance I have said about, but there are many activities we come across.
Yeah, but still I'm not clear about what is the outcome that you have in your mind when you are doing this activity or conceiving this activity.
Yeah, they understand the flow of buying decision process. There are several factors where the consumer's behavior is affected, influenced by internal factors and external factors, which is represented in the model itself.
Why should a student know? Why should a student know?
Madam.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Why should a student know? That is what my question. We are talking about outcome based, okay? You have to be very clear about what is this outcome based.
Okay, let's see.
Hello. What you are
ma'am.
doing till now? Yeah. You have said that you have given them the assignment, they have gone and interviewed the customers, everything is okay.
Single assignment. This is a single assignment, a different type of project. Even the perception of consumers have to be studied. A survey is conducted. There are many activities. I just quoted one of the activities.
No, I understand. I understand, madam. I am just asking you to think and let me know that why have you given this? What is that you are expecting and what will happen and why should a student, what is the outcome for the student? We are shifting from teacher to student, right? It's very clear, right?
Yeah.
Teacher centric, student centric. So I want you to look at from student point of view.
Yes, student point of view. This is an experiential learning. This is an experiential learning when students are standing as a frontline person in a shop or in a showroom or any as a marketing executive, and they are handling the task of identifying the customers, his perception. The outcome when as a graduate he will step up, as a postgraduate he will step up into the market.
Now only you are pushing your thinking. It is not only for this, but they should be able to handle a situation when they go in the market. Only when they face that, that is what is outcome. Till then it is just intention. Please understand. It is their syllabus. You are doing something. You don't know what is the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. As I put it, if you see it very carefully, I put the outcome is the result.
Yes.
The goal. So for the student, okay, this simple assignment, okay, why should he do and what is that he is going to get the outcome of that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Outcome will be what? Let's look at this. I think anybody can join me in this. What will be the outcome for any student who joins a BCom? Let's look at BCom, right? I don't know which are the other courses that faculty members are from, but let's take a BCom. Okay. What is the outcome base of BCom?
The students should be able to apply, the students should be able to apply the concepts of accounting in the place of work for decision making, to achieve organizational goals.
Yeah, but before that, what he has to do? He has to get into the organization, no?
Get a job.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Get a job.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. Yes.
Placement. So what are the options? Either placement or what is the other option?
Internship.
Internship. What is the other option?
Higher studies.
Outcome, I'm talking higher studies, right? So we are looking
Hands-on
at
training.
outcome based. Huh?
Hands-on training.
Pardon? You can become an entrepreneur, right? That is also option there.
Yes.
Yes or no? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
These are the outcomes. These are the outcomes of the student, right? So we have to gear up ourselves accordingly and then design the curriculum, design the syllabus, design our lesson plan, because these are all part of it, right? We all know that we are supposed to do that. And why are we making application oriented? And just learning is not the outcome, let me tell you, unless it results in a job for him, right? That is the outcome. Unless he gets into his PG course, unless he starts something on his own, that is what his goal is. Please understand. Outcome based is related to the goal and the results, which is different than what we always think about it, right? Is this understanding clear to all of you? Yeah? Anybody who has got any doubt? This is my point of view, right? I look at outcome as that. Every student, if he wants to become an entrepreneur, at the end of it, has to become an entrepreneur. That is outcome. No point in just getting degree. Okay? No point in getting sort of a gold medal or getting rank where you don't get a job. That means it is not outcome based. Real sense in terms of goals and results. One has to look at it, right? So this is the point I wanted to, because we are talking about restructuring curriculum on outcome based. That is why I'm emphasizing this point, and this is what one has to look at, that outcome, not from teacher angle, but from the student, and we have to make it then student centric. Okay.
Ma'am, Dr. Rahul Sangvi has raised his hand. Dr. Rahul, if you have any query.
Yes, Dr. Rahul.
Rahul, you have to unmute.
Yeah. Maybe unmute.
He has unmuted himself, but.
Yes, Professor.
Hello, Dr. Rahul.
Yes. I'm able to see him.
I think he's having certain mic issues.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Please continue.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Be louder.
Ma'am, I want to share my own experience. Hello. Is it hello?
Sir, can you be louder? Can you be
Hello.
a,
Madam, I
can
want
you?
to share one experience. Is it okay? Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, please.
Okay, madam. I am teaching derivative subjects, and in that subject, I teach how to minimizing your risk while you're investing your portfolio, or while you're designing your portfolio. So at that particular subject, I am giving the students assignment like I'm giving their virtual funds, virtual money, and they have to design their own fund, own portfolio. Correct. And after that, the outcome is that after completing their programs, they want to park their own money. So how to manage their own funds? That is basically their outcomes. Am I correct, ma'am?
See, outcome will be only when they go out and start that, okay? Till then it is intention.
If they earn
From your
profits,
side, it is
after that, if
intention.
they earn profit, so
Yeah,
that is
he has to
basically
do
their
that.
goal.
That is what is outcome. Exactly. So when he does that and earns profit, that is what is outcome.
Their goal.
Yes. We need to hold hands till then. Let us not look at it, okay, degree mil gaya, course khatam ho gaya, everything is over, that's okay,
Correct.
we wash our hands, they wash their
Correct.
hands. Outcome based is, if then you can be very sure that what you have done has helped him to have the out based. You get the point?
Yes. Yes.
It's very good idea. Even I do that. You simulation. What you simulate the same thing. Why are we doing that? Because when they go back to the market, but they should do that. Outcome based has to, then only it is an outcome based.
Okay.
But what we stop it, okay, simulation mein marks mil gaya, we give that marks and then we say, okay, this is what is that.
That's correct. Okay. So ultimately, goal is if they are making a profit, so their outcome is mapping.
Exactly that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah, any other would like to?
Madam, I would
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to add few things if you permit. This is Harish Purohit.
Please.
Madam,
Yeah, please.
whatever we teach in the class is making a student concept, clarity. And what
Correct.
Dr. Rahul spoke about is the various simulation methods where they get hands-on training so that they get prepared for the market. Either you make profit or you lose money. It is the market phenomena. As a learner, we provide a platform to make them understand the concepts and its applications. We have no control over whether a student is only making profits, then only he has got a good role learner. The idea here is to provide a learning platform so that they become market ready, madam. Do you agree with my viewpoint?
That. I very much understand that, but what I'm saying is we need to go beyond that. As you have said, it could be profit or loss, but then ultimately what we are looking at, outcome based, according to me, should not stop at that, okay, that they have learned. Only learning is not outcome.
Correct. So that is the reason they opt for certain career options. Either they work for some companies or they go for their own financial company where they advise people on investment advisory kind of a thing.
Yes. So that
So
is
that is
where
the ultimate
we need to
outcome,
pitch
and for
ourselves.
that we need to provide a platform to learn and grow. Right,
No,
madam?
learning is, what I'm saying is, outcome based does not stop at learning. That's what I'm trying to make the point. It goes beyond the learning. That is the point I'm making. Yeah.
Correct. I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. This is just thinking, make you think about that, right? Because generally we don't think about it. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Anybody else would like to raise any issues? No?
Dr.
Ma'am,
Vinita?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so ma'am, this is a very nice debate that is going on outcome-based education. On whatever you have said up till now, I understand that what you mean to say is that outcome is achieved after or can be seen based on what the student does after he leaves the program.
Correct.
But is this right if I say that outcome cannot be 100% because it is based on the learner also?
Outcome?
cannot be 100% for a program.
No, but then whatever we are looking at should be having that in our mind as a goal that it has to be outcome based. See, outcome based, your argument is saying it may be achieved, it may not be achieved. For example, a student wants a job, right? And he may not get the job. I think that's the point you are trying to raise, right? You are not getting. That means the outcome based is not happened, you know. See, we have tried our level best, the intentions are good, everything has happened, but it has not resulted in what we call as outcome. Basically, that is what is the flaw there. Okay. So then we need to look at it, re-look at it. That's what I'm saying. Clear? But our goal, our result should be outcome. See, when even accreditation bodies come, they ask, you know, how many people have got placed, right? Ultimate test is what? How many people have got placed? How many entrepreneurs have produced? That is the outcome. Clear? Yes? Okay. Right. That is for all now assessment, everything they are looking at outcome based only. You know, how many, you tell us, forget it, you got so many things, this, that. Tell us towards what has happened. Right? Okay. Can we have next slide, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your participation. It's really nice to have energy in the discussion. Yeah. So is this clear, right? Okay. Now, as per the topic, the dots to be connected is, if you look at the topic, is restructuring, curriculum, outcome-based education, learning taxonomy, program objectives. So we are looking at it, okay, restructuring, we have understood why restructuring, why should you do restructuring. Curriculum is what? It is not a syllabus, it is broader framework. And once I present my thing, I think things will become clearer. But that is what is outcome-based education has to be there. Learning taxonomy. I am focusing only on these two because these two only are being given to me, right, for restructuring. So I am not looking at other things, but taking into consideration learning taxonomy and program objectives. What now? Whatever we have been talking, I think nice discussion has taken place. Whatever being talking is the objective. It is not the outcome. Okay. Whatever we do, intend to do is an objective. Outcome is the ultimate result. Is this clear? So we are looking at program objectives. Okay. Now what needs to be restructured? Okay. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, is the curriculum, right? That is what our focus of this discussion will be on. How do we restructure the curriculum? Okay, right. Next. Now, hello. Before this, I would like to tell you the background about this. I was invited by Crescent School of Business when they got permission to start this new course, which is MBA in Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Venture Development Program, which is known as MBA IEV. Only 22 institutes or 24 institutes in the country have been recognized by AICTE for offering this course. This course requires a strong incubation center and it is MBA plus funding. So the participants, once they complete the course, they will be given funding also, you know. So a unique course designed by AICTE about 3-4 years, not very old course. So I was invited and I had to start from the scratch. Absolutely, there was no classroom, no lecturer. You know, you start from the on the board, you know, right on the board. So this is what I am just sharing. How did we go about doing it so that you will understand what I am talking about, right? So the issues that we are looking at it, what are the alternative students will have after completion of the course? That's why we started thinking, right? Curriculum first step is what are the alternative students will have after completion of the course? So alternative one, they can take up a job. Alternative, yeah, can you just put other one? Just hold on. What will be the other alternative here? Anybody guess? Hello? What could be the other alternative here?
Become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, exactly. Very good. So just can you just put that? Yeah. So become an entrepreneur. So this is the outcome based, right? We are ultimately looking at it that how do we do this? Okay. So then we looked at what attitudes and qualities do they require? Okay. To become an entrepreneur or to take up a job, what are the qualities? So passion, okay. Along with passion, what is that other thing? Values. Very, very important. That's what we felt, right? For curriculum development, because nowadays, values are something which we need to, especially as an entrepreneur, where you are, taking on so much of responsibility, you have to have values, otherwise the society, it's in the interest of the society, and this is applicable to any education, not only this course, particular course. So values, passion. So I'm just giving two examples so that it becomes very clear that how did we go about doing that? No? Before even we thought about curriculum, okay, we looked at it, what did the alternative student want, and then we look at it, passion and values, these are the attitudes, qualities they require, most important. That now wait, just hold on. So what thinking do they require? Because we need to make them think basically. So outside when they go, they have to think and solve the problem. So if we develop that thinking, then we are preparing them for making them. Otherwise we are just giving the problem and the solution and all. But this is what is, so if he wants to become an entrepreneur, he has to have entrepreneurial thinking. Is only entrepreneurial thinking sufficient? No. Because entrepreneurial thinking leads to, yeah, can I have the next, please? Strategic thinking. He requires to decide on what product I have to start, okay? Where do I start? It's a strategic thinking. First is taking a call that I want to become an entrepreneur. And that requires thinking. So the whole course is designed in such a way that develops their thinking skills, right? Entrepreneurial thinking skills, strategic thinking skills. Even this is not sufficient. You require, because we are looking at taking up a job or becoming an entrepreneur. So may I have the third one, please? Managerial thinking. They require this later on at the stage, but initially they require this entrepreneurial thinking, strategic thinking, and managerial thinking. So we said, okay, where whatever we design, it's a curriculum is a design, right? Education, that design you want to deliver something. So what is that we would like to do? And we did this, okay? Entrepreneurial thinking, strategic thinking, managerial thinking. This is what we thought, or we identified that this is what our curriculum should ultimately, intention should be to develop this thinking skills. Yeah. Okay. Next. Any doubts here, please? Hello? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Previous slide, any doubt? No. Okay. Now, how do we build into the curriculum? It's easy. You can just make a laundry list that this is what I want this, but how do you build it into the curriculum? Right? That's very important. As somebody has pointed out earlier, that there is a framework given. So AICT has given this guidelines. Okay, you can just read this guidelines, which are saying that duration of the program will be of 2 years. Credit will be 104 credits. Coursework 44 credits. Skill-based courses 14 credits. Capstone projects 12 credits. Action-based learning 14 credits. Action-based learning, that is business startup launch, is 20 credits. Okay. This is what broad guideline was given by AICT. It is not that they've identified the subjects. Yes, they'll identify a lot of things, but yes, as per there, we have to, the course content should have this, and the students should have undergone all this. That is what AICT stipulation, and AICT's degree is given by AICT. Is this clear? So then what did we do? We had this because it took us some some time for us to understand these things, that what it is, what is the expectation, what do we do, because it's recognized by AICTE. If it is private university and you are also doing, there is no issue. But here there is an issue. We have to have a, so there is a limitation here, there is a border here. You may get a chance to not to go to the without border also, right? But here we were given this, and we were tried. I'll share you an example. When I was in MOP Vaishnav College, there was one publisher, and a publisher was very keen that I should write a book for that publisher, because I had given him some ideas, and when he implemented that ideas, his sales shoot up. So he said, ma'am, that means you know the market, you know the student, you have understood the level. So why don't you write a book for us? I said, I can't write for every subject. I don't know. I can write what I know. So he came with various proposals. I said, no. Finally, when it came to entrepreneurship, okay, he said, ma'am, this BCom has got one course which is entrepreneurship. Will you be able to contribute something there? I said, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. So I will be able to contribute. But one thing I told him, that I will not go by the syllabus. Because syllabus means, again, there's a unit 1, right? Unit 2, unit 3, unit 4. Okay, these are the topics. These are logic. So I said, I don't want anything. I just logically write a book, what I have experienced, and that is how I wrote the book, right? Subsequently, what happened? University adopted this book and they changed the syllabus to suit this book, right? So I'm just looking at you that, okay, sometimes you have this guideline, sometimes you might get an opportunity if you're lucky enough, boundaryless, right? So it can be, you can just let your thoughts move, let your ideas flow so that you can think about something, right? But here it was given, right? So this is what, so then what did you do, and should we have, so the issues that we face with, should we have any written examination, challenges to manage students. Okay, I'll share with you what are the challenges, that is when it came to implementation, right? It is one thing to design something, and when it comes to implementation, execution, what happens, okay? So I will just share the curriculum that we had formed, and then I will share this, what happened subsequently, we did finally, right? So yeah, next one. So we divided into 4 semesters. Yeah. So here you will see there are 2 institutions, right, offering the same course. And on one hand, you will see one, this is our curriculum, and this is by other institute. Because as I told you, there are 24 institutes. So curriculum is what they had done is they have said module 1, capstone identification opportunities, capstone project 2, capstone module 2, managing skills for entrepreneurs, capstone project 2. This is what they have done. Okay. Whereas we had offered the courses which are related to that, because at the end of, we had said that, as I said, goals and outcomes. At the end of first semester, the student has to come up with an idea, business idea. Sometimes they come with the business idea, sometimes they don't have business idea. So how do we help them to develop the ideas? And as we said, the thinking, that you are required to do the thinking, right? So this is the course we identified, because they have to do research, they have to create value ultimately as an entrepreneur. So first semester we identified these courses, and we said, okay, along with that there is a skill 2 certification courses. And as you see the project, this is idea generation, is what this happened in the first semester. So conceptually speaking, we said, let's divide into 4. At the end of 4, the outcome should be, he should be an entrepreneur. Okay. So where do we start? We start with idea. We help him out to test his ideas, to modify his ideas, to validate his ideas before he launches the business. because the probability of its success will be high if it is already tested and already done. Otherwise, just like that, also you can get into the market. Nobody can stop you. That depends on what is your, the idea, the differences that you are having, novelty, exclusiveness, all this. So is this clear to you? Any questions on this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so first you have to set your goals and everything, and then you develop your curriculum, right? That is what is outcome based. And at the end of it, they have to have a business idea. If they have not done, that means the outcome has not come. Yes, learning has taken place. They know what is there. They have scored marks. They have passed their test and they have done everything. But outcome has not been. Okay. Then we came to second semester. You look at again, what we have. What is first? They have ideas. Second, their feasibility analysis is being taught. That same idea they will have to test on the feasibility, whether it will work out, not work out, in terms of legal feasibility, managerial feasibility, financial feasibility, marketing feasibility, economic feasibility, everything from all the angles, the ideas is being looked at it. So theoretically inputs will be given, whatever is required, but then they will have to apply to their ideas. Okay. Then essentials of business plan, because they are supposed to prepare a business plan. So what is business plan, how it is to be done, and then validation, how do you validate? Okay. And again, there is a skill certification, and action based learning is they work with a startup. Okay, that is to get that experiential learning. How does a startup, how did he start it, how did he have his business plans, all those learning. Now look at this, other institute has again done this way. Okay, semester 2 startup experiential learning track, whole learning contribution, creating and sustaining enterprising model and organize development of minimum viable business model of innovation, action learning segment starts with this integration residency learning program. Now there's a capstone project again. Capstone is, as all of you complete together, culminate in something which is. So in that you have to formulate, okay, the business plan. That is, I have an idea. What is that is required to execute that idea? So I should plan that. And then how do you develop a prototype? Have some iterations done of your ideas in this stage, whether it is working, not working, because lot of iterations take place in entrepreneurship. You come up with some idea and you land up doing something else because it may not work, or as you are developing, you will see something, so you again change, then you see something, then you change. So this is what it is. So it cannot be fixed, it has to be dynamic in nature. So it keeps on varying, it keeps on changing. So this is what you have to look at it. Okay, so this is semester 2, which is okay. This course we have just started last year only. So our batch, they are in the 4th semester right now. They've just crossed 3rd semester, right? Okay, yeah. Next. This is 3rd semester. 3rd semester is they'll have to give all the inputs because they will have to launch the product in the next semester, right? So whatever is required for that, we have given that in the form of courses, which will help them to come to the market, okay, to make entry into the market. So these are the 6 courses. Again, 44 credits we have divided into this, and that's how we have done this. Okay. So there is one project specific course that related to your idea. They will have to take up one course and do that. Okay. And these classes are taken by entrepreneurs, practitioners. Till now, we had only practitioners coming and delivering this course. So that very practical aspects, right? Entrepreneurship itself is practical. Management is also practical, right? And that is our lab. Okay, so then they have to validate that business model, whatever they have done, that business plan at the end of 2nd semester. Here they validate it, okay? Yes, it is working, or here this is where tweaking has to play. I have to do this, I have to do this, then it will work. Okay, yeah, next. Fourth semester. So you see here, startup establishment track, action learning segment 2, venture established phase. This is what we have said. Skill certification has to be done, and action based learning is 20, wherein they launch their business. So if they launch their business, they get the 20 credits. Now you can see how we have transformed this now. Okay, now let us see, we have to link it up ultimately with, because we have to link it up with taxonomy, right? So let's look at Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, look, there are 6 levels in Bloom's taxonomy, right? Some you'll find 4, some 2, but by and large standard is 6. I'm sure all of you are, because now everybody accreditation agency is asking this question only, you know, how have you measured the performance in terms of create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, remember? No. If you look at this, create is the ultimate thing that you have to look at it, outcome. Okay. Use existing information to make something new. That is what is contribution. That is what is the outcome. Something new has come up. Invent, develop, design, compose, generate, construct. Okay. Evaluate. Make judgments based on sound analysis. This is the analytical skills that they develop. Assess, judge, defend, prioritize. When you are conceiving your program, you have to keep this in mind, that some aspect of it. And then, as somebody said, no, curriculum has all the subjects, whereas syllabus has only one subject. So one who is designing the curriculum, the team has to have this, you know, helicopter view of this. This subject will take him to this level. This subject will take him to this level. In this subject, this can be done. In this subject, so ultimately the objective is that they should reach this, right? So apply, use existing knowledge in new contexts, practice, calculate, implement, operate, use, illustrate. These are the ways by which you can do this application. Understand, grasp the meaning of something, explain, paraphrase, report. So we try to, you know, examine the student on this criteria. Now, let me share our experience. When the students came, see, we started very late. So actually AICTE has put a cap that you cannot take more than 30 students because this course involves funding. So 30 students are, but we started very late. So we got 8 students, no? Out of 8, 2 were girls and 6 were boys. And they were from BCom and BBA, and 1 was an engineer. That's a thing, we got 8. Now, the problem happened is when we said there are no classes here, except when the guest lecturer is coming and delivering those. You saw those 45 credits, right? Those times only. But otherwise, they are let loose. They have to see, because an entrepreneur has to decide on his own. Nobody is there to tell him what he has to do. But that backfired in the sense students are not used to it. They want classes, they want somebody to tell something, they want to write exam, they want to, this is the mindset. The mindset of the student is this. That what we don't have any classes, we are let loose on one day have a class, and another day there may not be any class, or 2 days there may not be any class, and then one fine day there will be classes. Then that will be, because depending on the guest faculty, we will have to organize those things. But that was a major and first time we were doing, right? So we did not know how to sort of handle that. Okay. So when the next batch came, so now we have in the next batch, we have about 18 students. We have learned, how to make it right. So, but still it has not come out very well, but still it is much better than what is in the first year. Knowing, understanding the psychology of the student also, you know, that we have to look at that. So this was a, because for one, we felt that, you know, that, okay, what is the outcome? We want them to become entrepreneurs. We don't want them to write exams and pass papers and all. No, that is not our objective. Objective is to prepare them, right? Intention is to prepare them to become entrepreneur. And when they become an entrepreneur, that is what will outcome. So I said, but then they said, no, there are no exams, no, how will I, so what marks I have got, how much, what type of a question papers will be there, this and that, you know, all those things, they're there from their mind. So we developed something, we did something, but ultimately the objective is what? That they have to be trained to become entrepreneur, and they should become, at the end of the course, they should register a firm, right? That is what is the outcome. All these things what we are doing is, but this is what I wanted to share actually. So can we go back to the previous slide where I tried to raise the issues, please? No, other. Before. I think slide number 9. Yeah. Not this. This is about curriculum.
Which slide, ma'am?
After this. No, after this. 2 slides after this. Where I have tried to use, you know, raise the issues, right? There are 2 open-ended questions there.
Ma'am, slide number 9 is about semester 1.
Then that it may be 7 and 8.
7. Na? What thinking do they require? 7 and
7
8.
then
Yes.
8. Thinking after.
Yes, I
8
will.
and
Yes. Is it this slide? 1 second.
I'm not able to see the slide. Yeah, thank you so much. So what did we do? I explained to you. Then should we have any written examination? That was a big question in our mind. But then we said as per the AICTE norms also we have to do. So we did that, okay. So but very little, whatever is basically required. No, that was the slide, madam. After this slide.
This one?
No, next slide.
Next slide is this.
Yeah, this one, yeah. So what did we do? That I explained. Then should we have any written examination? Yes, we did have. But if choice is given, I would not have any written examination for them. You know, I would just straight away make them do work and then start the enterprise. You know, but that is because of this constraint. Sometimes, no, ma'am, let it that slide be there. Yeah. So challenge was to manage students. That's what I raised the issue, right? That how do we manage the students, you know, because they said there are no classes and we have paid 8 lakhs of rupees, and what is that we are getting out of that, you know, value? Okay. Are we getting the value for the money and all? Okay. So these are the challenges that we need to manage. Outcome based, again, you know, sometimes students from our side we say that this could be the outcome, but then we do not know what is in the minds of the participants, of the students, right? So we need to know that, and then anyhow we are very confident that all 8 of them will be registering their startup. We are pushing them to that level, and now they are almost to that level. So that once that is done, that is what is outcome based approach. So the alternative of job, we have not looked at it, but what will happen is even if they sit for placement, because companies want entrepreneurial thinking, basically, you know, competition is increasing. We will have to do something new. We'll have to do something different. So that is where entrepreneurial thinking, where are the opportunities? How do you explore those opportunities? So that is what that thinking will help them out to do well in their jobs. Now, I'm involved in LIBA also. So LIBA also, I take courses, right? So entrepreneurship, first it was given as an elective. Then they said, no, everybody should get exposed. So then it was made as an, again, these are all curriculum related, right? And then they said, no, now let's make it compulsory because that is what is going to be the future, and also made it compulsory. Now, when we made it compulsory, again, when to position is at the end of second semester, third semester, or whatever, second year. So first we try to do it in the end of the second year, but then what happened? Students were already placed at that time. So they're not at all interested in anything because they have got placement, right? Outcome is achieved. So when outcome is achieved, they're not worried about whatever will happen. You know, they just come, whatever is required, bare minimum is what they do. So they're not interested in the subject, right? So that was what happening, but still we were trying to tell them that whatever you learn in this course will help you in getting the job or do better in the job also. You know? So we can tweak that course accordingly. This semester, suddenly there was one faculty was not available, so they said that we will have it in the first year itself. Okay? So at the end of the first year, I tell you the responses were completely different. They were so open-minded students, you know, to learn, and some of them said, "Ma'am, we will decide, we will become an entrepreneur." No? Which option was not there because everybody had got jobs and they had to just, you know, look around for the opportunities. That's all. But here was the opportunity. And that is where, you know, the positioning when you do what is very, very important, especially subject like entrepreneurs, which is what is my foray, you know, my interest is in that only. So this is what is the curriculum, you know, curriculum is again, you know, when do you timing part of it, duration part of it, everything you need to do it. 2 years may not be sufficient, for example, it might be 3 years. So they said, okay, you can extend for another 2 years, but 4 years you have to complete. You have to launch the business. Again, any other institutes, they have not launched any businesses. We are not coming across anybody who has done that except you. But here we are trying to make all of them registered and become an entrepreneur. That is what is our outcome based. And we are still, we don't know, you know, at the end of that, in the just entered the 4th semester, right? So they'll be presenting their validation of business plan, capstone project, and then we'll be again guiding them. So more of a mentoring and, you know, sort of trying to help them out in their idea, how to implement, how to launch their businesses. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share. So I hope you understand the word program objective, and you know, other word is program objective is one, which intention that you plan, okay? But program outcome is the end result. Clear? Yeah. Anybody would like to, any Bloom taxonomy you have, can we just project that? Any doubts in this? See, when you are creating the curriculum, you'll have to check whether all these are being there. For example, suppose if you look at the course that we have designed, what is that they're creating? They're creating a business, right? Ultimately. Am I right? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
What are they evaluating? They have evaluated the ideas that they got it, and then they have decided what they want to do. So how do you evaluate it? The science, is my business viable? How do I make it viable? How did I do that? By analyzing the various market, what is happening in the market. How did I use? I used the whatever was taught in the course, what was or exposed to the students, and no teaching material, nothing was given to students, right? Only guest lectures were there. So bare minimum of reading, but they are supposed to, you know, visit the startup and all those things are there. Understand, grasp the meaning of something, and then remember, retain and recall information. But ultimately, we have to be here, right? These are all the steps that you take it. Unless you have these steps, maybe it will be difficult to come to this stage. That is why they say 6 levels. Okay. So these are all the levels that we look at it. So now you can take, for example, you are handling one course. Okay. If you want to be holistic, that one course you can use this taxonomy and fit in, okay, this portion of it can be done. Ultimately, what is that I want, and then reach that by giving different assignments, different quizzes, different exposures, different taking them to different field visits, or they let them do their field visits and everything. So that's how it is, building up the curriculum, right? And so even if you are given the curriculum, from then onwards, you can convert the syllabus by using this taxonomy, right? So make sure that you are covering all, at least in the subject that you are handling, so that it is holistic. These are skill-based. I showed in the first slide itself. Now nobody wants a certificate. They want to know what you have done. Okay, practical, what you have done. So certificate and marks, okay, doesn't count, but what you have done, what experience you have gained is what is required for us as for the outcome.
Jayashree,
Yeah,
ma'am?
any question? Yeah.
Yes, there is a query which has been raised by Dr. Karuna.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Dr. Karuna, you have raised your hand. If you can answer question.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, thank you for the thought.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, thank you for the thought-provoking questions and discussion. I had just a thought that came to my mind, like with respect to being an entrepreneur. Of course, I'm not nothing to do with commerce. I'm
Your voice is breaking, madam. Karna, madam.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Yeah, so my question here was, actually I'm from the science background, so I don't really know, but taking forward the example of the entrepreneurship that you just discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose that is after post-graduation that the outcome you're looking for. I had a query here. Do you all measure like how many entrepreneurs have gone? Like,
No, that's what this is the first batch. I told you this is the first batch. They are into right now in the 4th semester. So the outcome will come once they clear that 2 years, right? But we are pushing them to that, to achieve that. They should form a company, they should launch a company, they should register a company.
Yeah, carrying forward the same question, I think quite a number of us here are also teaching undergraduates. So the same outcome cannot be really looked upon for undergraduates. So I would think that for undergraduates, the outcomes would be slightly different with respect to, getting placement for an internship or even a job, of course, after, doing their BCom, BSc, BA, something like that. Yeah, so now the problem is we have to look at the progression of the students for us to know, say from college, if they are placed, then we know that so many students have got placed. But once they move out of our college, okay, we need to keep in touch with them so that we know the progression and know the outcome. Okay, that becomes a challenge for most of the college teachers. I suppose everyone will agree here with me, because unless and until they are in touch with you, in contact with you, we would not know, except for some of them, like if they go abroad for further studies or they have got into a PG program, okay, in India itself, or they have been placed into an internship or a job or whatever. Unless they come and tell us, it becomes a little challenging thing for us, to measure our own outcomes. No, that's
I know. I fully agree with you, Professor. But this is what happens when the accreditation team comes. They ask you, how many of you have gone for higher studies? How many of you have become entrepreneur? That is what is happening now. Okay. So we need to prepare ourselves, have our network, continue the network with the alumni so that we get this information.
Yeah.
And in the true sense, then in the true sense, it will be outcome based.
Yeah.
I'm talking about true sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, even here, when they are placed in jobs, you know, the accreditation also asks us, you know, what pay packages they have.
Yes.
Now, the problem is, the problem here is some of the companies take an undertaking from students not to reveal the pay packages. Okay, so that is another problem that we face. Of course, this is not a forum for discussion, but I'm just telling you what you know challenges that we face, and
I agree with you.
Get a complete picture of outcome education.
I fully support you. I fully agree with you. I had been having these arguments when these teams visit us, you know. I said you have to look at from the spirit point of view, not from the document point of view, right?
Yes.
The spirit is very important. And as you are saying, we don't have that data, but the student is placed. So we are happy that our outcome is achieved, that he has got placed, you know. Doesn't matter wherever he is, but he has got placed. That's what is outcome based. And we can convince them that that is what. Okay? They will ask that, but it's not possible. Not possible, not possible. But in true sense, we have achieved that. Okay, maybe on paper, it's like legal, you know, you are not able to show evidence. That doesn't mean that you have not done. You can, you know, make the crime and be evidence proof, you know, not having evidence or not do anything and produce some evidence. This is what. So let's not worry about that. But as a teacher, you know, as a faculty, you know, I think we should be interested in the outcome that ultimately, you know, what is happening to them.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my thoughts. Thank you.
No, but do you think you can practice in science also? See, at undergraduate also, see, I will share with you. I have been responsible in designing lot of undergraduate courses also. PIMS was my brainchild, which was an integration of management and information system because things were moving into IT field, right? So IT and management two separate. We just thought that there is a need for them to combine, and we developed the whole curriculum for BIMS, right? BBA, I was involved. I completely tweaked it depending on what is the requirement, and then you give the syllabus or you have the curriculum base, not otherwise. You know? Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Just for the sake of something. So undergraduate level, in BBA, in SRM, when we have designed, there are 3 options available for the student. If he decides to take up a job, certain electives. Okay. If he decides to become entrepreneurs, he can choose certain electives, right? Subjects. I'm talking about choice of subjects, right? What is the other option if he wants to go for higher studies? What is that? Okay. That is how we are designed. Probably the only institute, you know, they were telling that we have never seen at undergraduate level somebody designing this type of curriculum.
Thank you so much.
So it's always a choice to be given, and depending on what they want, outcome. Then only see, we might force them to do something, but it may not result in outcome from maybe from our side or from their side, both. But ultimately, we are looking at student, whoever is the beneficiary, right? So that has been the approach. And I was, lucky enough to get this opportunity of at the university level to frame the syllabus, at this level to frame the syllabus, and to, sort of. And when I take my own subject, I have completely different approach. Lesson plan is completely different, right? Because each faculty is given that freedom. And that is where you have to bring about this skill. Basically, it is skill. One thing I realized, if you do it, students don't learn. Unless they do it, I never use board. And today also, when yesterday I was having, I said, I don't want any, PPTs. I said, no, ma'am, you should have some PPTs. So if you want, yes, but otherwise I am not for that. So students themselves have to do. We are there, yes, but we should know. So very interesting, I should share with you. I went to one of the professors, showing him this vetting out of a curriculum and subject details and all. So he asked me one question, Jayashree, what Why are you framing this? What is the objective of this course? What do you want students? What is the outcome? So I said, we want them to become entrepreneurs. If you want them to become entrepreneur, then why are you teaching them these entrepreneurial theories? Cut off that. They're not required. Do you think they require theories? No. They require practical. Okay. So he made me cut down everything. But he said one thing, as a resource person, you should know that. Because that is where goes on your theoretical background for you to, look at the develop the way in which you want to develop. But this was that's where my eyes opened. I said, I agree with you, Professor, that our purpose is, that's why I said no exams and all, but again, we had to, sort of, as I told you, for the satisfying this AICTE norms, we have to do that certain things. Okay. So science also, it is a very good issue that you are raising. Science also has to be taught that way. Through experimentation, through inquiry, thinking, that is what is. So from which institute you are, Professor?
I'm from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai.
Acha, we are from St. Joseph's College. Okay. This is on Churchgate, no?
VT, CST.
I had come there because Lima used to have interviews there, no student selection. I think we have interviews there. 2 years at very nice location, fantastic place.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? So I wish you all the best. Please try to think. Okay, that's very, very important. Before we do anything, think. And then looking at it, what we want. So that should be the starting point rather than, okay. And one thing I wanted to share with you. Philip Kotler had come, some of you are taking marketing and management and also. Philip Kotler is a very well-known author and people is like a guide and a philosopher or whatever you may call it for marketing. So I was there to attend one of his session, interactive session with the faculty. So all the faculty members, they said, Professor, your book is excellent, very good, but it is a 400 pages book, thick book. And they are all teaching at undergraduate level and postgraduate level. So we are not able to cover this. This was the question raised by a faculty member, right? We are not able to cover this 400 pages, of the book. So what was his answer? Very interesting. He said, dear faculty, you are not there to cover the portion, cover the book. You are there to uncover, generate interest. It is the student who will read that. You cannot no way cover this. Absolutely. Just uncover it, develop interest in that, and then you see how they proceed. This was his answer. So let us not put ourselves that, okay, this is a tension, this is the syllabus, this is the portion, we have to cover that portion. No way. But if we make them interested, they will themselves go ahead. We don't have to do anything. So I just wanted to share this, I can never forget that. And then all the faculty members sat down. All of them only had one thought. 400 pages, how do we cover undergraduate level, BBA, BCom, we are using this book, how do we cover? Okay. So thank you so much, madam, for giving me this opportunity.
Ma'am, there is a query raised by Dr. Swati Agarwal. There is one question. Yes, Swati ma'am, you can ask the question.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. So we were talking about
outcome based.
Yeah, outcome based, ma'am. So for us, different students are different inputs, and the process we give, we are same teaching method pedagogy, we can say. So for a student, if we say, for example, his motive is not to get any placement, he is already having a very flourished business and all. His motive is only to have that professional degree. So in that case, the output would be only passing in the examination and the degree?
No, the output will be what, see, ultimately he wants to join his family owned business, right? Okay. So this should help him to grow in that family-owned business. Okay. Whatever inputs that we have. See, in fact, if you look at Stanford, Stanford has customized every student. There are only 120 students. For every student, they customize. Okay? So every student, depending on what they want, they choose the subject. We have not gone to that level, let me tell you. But at least if you are handling the subject, if you know that this person is from family background requires, then you have to train him for that so that he can take over the reign and progress the business. We have students in SR in third generation. After they took over, they have seen the family business grown multiple times. That is what we want. That's the outcome. And he says that because the input that I got in the course has helped me to think this way, and that is why I'm able to grow the family business. So each and every student, we should know about this, and then we have to connect that course with that. That is what we have to do. Yes, passing and all is all there. You know, he has to pass the examination. I'm not saying that. But ultimately, it should be helpful for him to grow his business. If he realizes that, then he'll be interested. Otherwise, he may not be interested in the course. I'll share you one more. A recent batch, last batch, there was one student, Syed. He said he was not at all, he was so indifferent to the course, not at all interested in the course, so indifferent body language. So I was wondering, how do we handle this guy? So one day I sat near him and I said, Syed, what is that in your mind? Why you are like this, Why you are so indifferent? You are not showing any interest in the course. He said, ma'am, I didn't want to do this course, but my father wanted me to do this, okay? So that is why I'm here, okay, right? Oh, then I understood that his interest is not there. His outcome is something, he's got something in his mind. So I sat with him, I said, okay, Syed, let me tell you what you want. He said, I want to get into IPS. Okay, I sat with him, spent 2 hours. I said, how this course will help you out, what all things from this course you can do. You will not believe, from next day he has completely changed himself and he's trying to do whatever is being reflected. Since you need to connect the dots, okay, whatever we are teaching, connect it to that what you want, okay. So don't think that you are not achieving your goal. You achieve this goal through this way, So that is what happens basically. So you have to connect the dots with their that is why student steps, we call it as student centric, because student wants to do something, we have to help them out, be a mentor and a guide and inspiration. That's all we can do. Rest of it they will do. Okay, all the best to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have Professor Barnita Majumdar, ma'am. Ma'am, you have raised your hand.
Thank you so much.
Just a
Yes.
minute.
Hello,
Barnita, ma'am. Yes, Smita.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not able to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, a network issue. That's why I have to switch off the video. Audio problem is going on.
Okay.
But let me try my best. Yes. Madam, I am not from BCom. I am an assistant professor in Department of English. So,
okay.
In that case, sometimes, madam, we have to be a little bit problem, like the way you just now said, na, the student, you have asked him that why you don't have any interest in the course, and he said that it's because of his father wanted him to do that. So it happens like that, madam. Most of the time, in our subject, English is the most lucrative one because they think that it's a job-oriented one, and in English is a common subject, they can get it. So most of the time, I will say that in a northeast state, Tripura, I'm from Tripura, madam, in a northeast state, they have a problem with that language. They wanted to study that language. They wanted to shine in that language and to be either a teacher, a writer, something. But somehow the outcome is not that much visible. Either sometimes in writing power, or sometimes it like that. I wanted to study history. My father told job opportunity is more in English. You go for that. So there, I think, madam, we are facing issues. So if you suggest us something regarding that.
Yeah. Yeah, see what I see. I was handling classes for this SRM Sikkim. Okay. There I had a batch of 2 students who were coming from that. Okay. So the emphasis that was placed on it is not the English language, it's the communication. You know, how do you know, it is basically you need to communicate for anything, whatever you want to be successful, whatever outcome you want, you need to communicate. So it's the question of communication. So this language is just a, you know, tool or a mode. You may not know the language, but still you can communicate. Are you able to communicate with or without English?
We are, madam, because first of all, ours is an English medium college. There is a, even if you don't want to sometimes want to speak in your language, you can't. That's another thing, madam. So we have done, but maybe our failure also there are, which we are unable to notice. Maybe it can happen. It may be like that, madam. I don't know how to go
English
about
is
that.
not to be taken as a separate language or something. It's a communication, right? It's a mode of communication, and you can use any language as long as that person is able to communicate. It shows, see, transcendental communication is what? If you see a dialogue between, say, you know, person like Swami Narayan Head, you know, who knows only Gujarati, and Abdul Kalam, right? Abdul Kalam does not know any other language, right? If you look at that, read that, it is transcendental communication. Without knowing the language, how these two people communicated. Okay. So one has to look at that, yes, that English is just a tool that could be used to improve your communication or to communicate. So you can express yourself because everybody understands this language. It's better they do that. That doesn't mean they cannot communicate. So if we are training them to be communicative, that is enough. Whether it's English or whether it's Hindi or whether it's when you go abroad also you have translators, right? If you like, the technology has developed to that extent, you talk in English, it gets converted and it gets into the language of the person, right? So all those things are being taken care of right now. But are we expressing ourselves? Are we raising questions? Are we having that confidence or raising that issue or having that? That is what is the capability that one has to develop as far as communication is concerned. Expression, right? Some people don't express, right? They don't express, they're shy, they don't,
Don't express, they feel shy, that others may laugh at them if they communicate in a particular language, what others will feel. A language barrier is always there.
Yes, it's not a barrier. Language is never a barrier for communication. We are making it a barrier, right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the suggestions.
My email ID and my number is with madam. If anybody wants, you can. You are always welcome. Okay, to raise any. If you want any guidance, any help. Absolutely. Now I am involved in TVS education. There, our English language approach is something very, very fantastic from 0 level. No? How we build up till class standard 8. Some very, very innovative methods are there for language.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Okay, madam.
Something
Thank
very
you.
innovative.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Let's hope. Okay, we are there to help students to achieve their dreams.
Yes.
Reach their outcome, whatever it is, right?
Thank you, Dr. Jayashree Suresh, for an insightful presentation on restructuring curriculum based on outcome-based education, focusing on Bloom's taxonomy and program outcomes. Ma'am, you clarified all our doubts. It was a very highly successful interactive session, and your presentation spoke about a course in Crescent Business School, how you restructured the curriculum to meet the innovative program on entrepreneurship. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing such precise details.
Thank you.
Thank you so
madam.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best to all of you.
Thank
all
you,
the
ma'am.
participants.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
please do
Thank
research.
you, ma'am.
Please do research. Whatever you do, that is very, very important for you. What is working, what is not working. You should be constantly doing that.
Thank
Constantly.
you.
Whatever research is the fundamental thing that you need to do. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Participants,
Thank
the
you.
feedback link has been posted on chat. The feedback link has to be submitted at the end of every session. So kindly submit your feedback for this session 3 of day 1.
We have even emailed the feedback link in your respective email IDs. So you can either fill from the chat or from your mail, either of the one place you all can fill it. So with this, we come to the end of day 1, and we request the participants who are not able to join with the login ID of the teams to remain connected so that our IT person can help them. And as I said, nevertheless, if you are still not willing to join from that login ID password, you can join as a guest. And as a guest, when you join, there are certain limitations which you will not be able to access the folder. Like if you can see immediately, the study material is available, which is shared by Professor Bakshi and even Dr. Jayashree. So those study materials, PPTs are readily available right now in the folder. Also, the recording of the session is readily available once we log out from the session. But for the other participants, we will be mailing them by the end of the day session recording as well as the PPT. Bakshi sir has advised not to mail you all the PPT. You all can access through the platform which is available, or you can go through the recording. But we will be sharing the PPT of Jayashree ma'am and Pankaj sir via mail to you all, and you can go through the entire day's recording, because you all have to appear for the quiz which is on 5th day, that is on 11th of May, which is a 40 marks quiz. So till the 10th of May, till the day 4, whatever session takes place, the quiz would be based on that. So we request everyone to go through the recordings and go through the PPTs for appearing quiz. And I could see some of the participants have mentioned about the Google Meet and all. Maybe the platform is new to y'all, so you are not familiar. Otherwise, from 3 years, we are using Teams. We didn't use for any of our sessions Zoom or Google Meet for our sessions. We have 180 students, and for 3 years, we have taken through Teams only, because that gives us a ready resource for recording and uploading the notes immediately. So student can at their ease can go through the session recording. They can even at the same time see the recording, see the notes immediately ready handy. That is the one of the feature of this platform.
May I
So if
leave,
any,
madam?
yeah, the participants who don't want to join from the login ID and password, they will not be able to access the folder. If it is okay with them, we are anyway, mailing them. If it is okay with them, they can leave. Other participants who would like to have a ready handy folder, logging through the ID, Microsoft Teams ID and password, we request them to remain connected, wherein my IT person, my IT head, Mr. Lalwani, will guide you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. May I have your permission to leave, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I informed ma'am.
Thank
They
you.
can leave. Yeah.
Yes, Jayashree ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Natika. Thank you
My
so
pleasure,
much.
ma'am. My pleasure, ma'am.
So thank you, participants. Have a pleasant weekend and meet you all on Monday for the day 2.
At 10:30.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lalwani sir. Hello, Lalwani sir. You can
madam.
start, sir. You can ask the participants like.
Madam, just stop the recording. No, so that it
Yes, sir.
should
You
get.
can stop the recording. And Bole sir, you have joined with us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bole sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sir. I'm giving you presenter rights.
Okay.
So you can share your screen and you can
Just
we
check
can
out.
do the testing. Yeah. Other participants, Lalwani sir, we have like Dr. Ananya, then Dr. Kajal, then Bala Bhaskar, then Dr. Poonam, Dr. Reena. You can help them out to log in with the team's ID. Yeah.
Lalwani sir, I have shared with you the picture WhatsApp on WhatsApp. The problem what I'm getting.
Yeah, madam, I just sent it you on WhatsApp. Just log in with that email ID and password and see you can manage to log in into it.
The same ID I was using, sir, and the same password.
What issue you are getting? 1 second, just hold on.
It says that your account or password is incorrect. If you don't remember your password, reset it now. That was the message which was coming when I was logging with the same ID and password what you have shared now also.
Just 1 second, I'll log in on behalf of you on this laptop again on
Yeah, if you can please check.
that. 1 second.
Yes, Bole sir, we can see your screen, sir.
You can see the whole screen, madam.
Yes, sir, we can see the whole screen. You can change your slide. Yes, sir, we can see that also.
You can see
Perfectly
this, right?
fine, sir. Yes, sir, perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And you can
Thank
hear
you
me
so
also
much.
clearly.
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
clear and crisp, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, sir, for
Thank
getting
you.
connected.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lalwani, sir, you can help the participants now.
Madam, stop the recording.
Lalwani, sir.
Did I stop?
Yes, the recording is already stopped, sir.
Sir, I can join as a guest, but when I'm trying to click on the link, it is not being happening. Maybe because my email ID is little wrong. I think I don't know what is the issue.